Microwave Cinema,
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin,
Word.
uh, the cultural capital of the United States. Now that you have introduced this series, yeah, what is it? Tell me a little bit about how you put this together, why you put it together, and how it works.
Sure. So, Microwave is a free series that we run, usually like a film every couple weeks on Sundays, and show exclusively films by American, sort of like micro budget filmmakers. And we've been going for we've been going for about a year now. And so what we do is we program films. Well, I mean, I say we, but it's just me. I program films, and then we always have Q&As with the filmmakers, usually the director, although we had the cinematographer for our last one. And it's kind of like presented as a way for general moviegoers in Madison, and especially students, to get contact with American independent filmmakers who are like very accessible. Like, these aren't people who are being like protected by agents at CAA and stuff. I mean, some of them have agents, but a lot of times they're just like cool people who you can send an email to and say, I want to show your movie in this series, and they're like awesome, and they're down to Skype. Occasionally we have people come in person, which is always really fun. And so originally, Simple Machine, which is was started by Nandan Rao, and Zach Weintraub helped out with that as well. Those guys are great filmmakers, two of my favorites. And
Me too.
they started Simple Machine, and the whole idea of Simple Machine was that filmmakers could connect with people who wanted to show their films in public outside of like a normal theatrical situation. And I remember they had something in Filmmaker magazine that was like, the people who are going to do this is going to be filmmakers. Like, filmmakers have to get this going. And that's really true, because like in Wisconsin we have lots of film programming, but only so much of it could ever be dedicated to like American micro budget stuff. Like, there are only so many spots in a festival or in a general screening series for that. And so I just kind of wanted to enlarge the profile of that stuff here, and I realized after a few months of thinking about this that no one was going to do it if I didn't do it.
Right.
And so I was just like, this has to be done. And like, people don't know who these filmmakers are, but they're important, and their work needs to be shown. And so I just started setting it up and just started emailing people. At first I was only using Simple Machine to contact filmmakers, and now it's like easier for me. I can just like email the filmmaker directly without using Simple Machine, or like talk to their distributors. And because we're associated with the university and we don't charge money or anything, distributors are like very cool about letting us show the films without a fee. Nice. And yeah, that's what we do. We just showed Josephine Decker's two films to a pretty big crowd, which was really exciting, and that was a blast. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up this semester.
Nice. Yeah, I think to this day, you're the only person who's ever contacted me on Simple Machine, but it worked. I mean, it was like I've used Simple Machine. I really like the idea of it. I want it to be completely ubiquitous. I want everybody to be on it and using it. It was cool to have that experience of doing that with you and with the series, because it's just a cool thing I wish was happening every day, every week. But I think it's really cool. I mean, you putting those together every couple weeks and on Sunday. So it is church, really. It is. It's church.
Youth group.
Yeah.
Filmmakers have so many resources that they take for granted. And especially me being so closely affiliated with the university, like I have access to like an amazing screening space. And if we have access to that stuff, and we care about these movies, like really care about them, and care about the culture that supports these movies, then we have to like take it into our own hands. And my friends in Dallas are doing this with the series they have. They actually showed Sabbatical there in January, called Family Movie Night, and other people have kind of told me that they want to start their own like local chapter of these things. And I mean, I just think there should be like dozens of these things happening all the time. Like that would be the dream.
I smell franchise. Big money. Big money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Microwave franchise across the United States, Europe pending. Yeah, no, I mean, do you want more people to... I mean, is the microwave cinema going to be your Madison, Wisconsin thing? You don't want to expand it any more than it is, or you know, get that name going into any kind of other way? You just want to support other people making their own things?
Yeah, I mean, I think by nature, like, this stuff has to be super local because, like, I can do it because I'm in this community and I can reach people in the community, and, like, the logistics of it have to be local logistics. And so it's kind of like up to people to decide if they think there's an audience for it where they are. And if there's not an audience, can they build an audience? Because in a lot of ways, that's kind of what I've done. Like, most people who come to the screenings have literally never heard of the movies or the filmmakers that we're showing. Even people who come, like, every week, like, don't know about them before they're programmed. So it's like, it's not like people are reading like IndieWire exhaustively, like cataloging all these films that show up. It's right. Like you have to like, if you're the person doing that where you live, then you need to like bring that to all the other people who would probably like care about these movies. Because everyone can't just like sit around like reading film Twitter 24 hours a day, like learning about reviews out of every film festival. Like there aren't that many people in even like medium to large size towns doing that. And so like if you were one of the people doing that, then you have to be like the emissary or something for that kind of film culture.
Totally, man. Yeah, I want to do this too. I want to start my own thing here in Ojai, California. And like and we are having actually an event soon. It's not a screening event, but we have this really unique space here on a farm in Ojai. We have a yurt with a projector and a screen, and the only problem is like good sound. You know, like that's the one thing that I feel like is not as accessible. Is like a good sound for a space of like 20, 30 people sometimes can be a little bit difficult, and sometimes showing movies with really bad sound is like. It like hurts, but yeah, it's also, you know, yeah, it's forgivable in a lot of cases. But
I think in a lot of places, like good venues for this kind of thing are like public libraries. Like if you have a big enough public library, it usually has some kind of like AV setup. Right. And this is like definitely something that's kind of like a community oriented event that's like public libraries or art museums. I think if people are filmmakers and they're sufficiently in the milieu or are interested in being in the milieu, like it's not that hard to convince someone at an art museum or a public library to let you use their screening space to show stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's what they want.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like sitting there unused most of the time.
Yeah, they're like, please bring me some culture for the love of God, please.
Yeah, right.
And we're desperate for it.